In the days and weeks ahead, the nightmare does not end, but at least it gets no worse. Concrete pump trucks unleash steady torrents of seawater onto the fuel pools. Power is fully restored to the plant, finally, on March 21st. By June, they install a complex filtration system to remove cesium from the water washing through the radioactive debris and flowing into the Pacific. And slowly, the answers start trickling in. Why did Unit 4 explode? It used the same vent stack as Unit 3. When hydrogen built up there, it seeped into Unit 4 via a shared duct. Why didn't Unit 2 blow up as they feared? They realized the explosion at Unit 1 knocked out a door near the top of the Unit 2 reactor building. It allowed hydrogen and radiation to escape Unit 2. While it was venting, the wind shifted toward land, sending the highest concentrations of cesium to the northwest. The fallout will linger for decades. 8 months after the earthquake and tsunami, reporters tour Fukushima Daiichi. Superintendent Masao Yoshida tries to downplay the worry.
The plant is stable enough for local residents to have peace of mind. However, it's still very difficult to work under the current conditions.
Yoshida had been reprimanded by his TEPCO superiors for disobeying orders and injecting seawater during the worst of the crisis. What about his workers? 6 that ventured into the reactor buildings trying to open the vent valves got the worst doses, as much as 678 millisieverts of radiation. 5,000 millisieverts is considered lethal, and 250 is the maximum normally allowed for nuclear plant workers in an emergency. The cancer risk for those 6 Daiichi workers is undoubtedly greater in the long run. But during that fateful week, they all believed there was no long run for them.
To be blunt, there were a number of times that I thought I would probably die. We couldn't predict anything. The worst-case scenario for the meltdown was that it would get out of control. I felt that this was possible. And so I thought maybe this is the end.
1 month later, the hot, melted cores finally drop below the boiling point of water. Cold shutdown. By then, Yoshida is gone. He has cancer unrelated to his job. He dies in July of 2013.
Yeah, he was always keeping his head. So, always encouraging people.
He was a good leader. You might even say he was superhuman. Not just because of the quality of his decisions, but how quickly he made them.
Without him, I could not have... I could not be here.
Fukushima, 4 years later. What was once one of the largest nuclear power plants in the world is now the center of the most complex, expensive, expansive cleanup ever attempted. It could take as long as 40 years. It will rely on technology not yet invented and the determination of people not yet born. The man in charge of it all is the hero of Fukushima Daini, Naohiro Masuda, is now TEPCO's chief decommissioning officer. It is a very different challenge than what he faced in March 2011.
This is the first time anyone has attempted this kind of decommissioning. No one in the world has this experience. So when we try to set a goal to work towards, I can't even give clear instructions because we're still figuring out what it is we're trying to do.
This is not Chernobyl, hastily abandoned, encased in a tomb and encircled by a fence. This is Japan, where land is precious, and they have a history of rising from ruin. Here they hope to erase the painful past and maybe one day return to their homes.
I was born and raised in this area, the same area where we are decommissioning. It's not possible to live here now, but we all have a strong desire to make it habitable again. I think that's what keeps us working.
It is a disaster with deep roots at high levels. Bad design decisions, technological hubris, a broken safety culture. But in Japan, the sins of the company are the sins of its workers, so they are considered culprits as well as victims.
We did what we had to do. I strongly regret the inexcusable situation that unfolded.
Mankind has never faced the forces of physics and the forces of nature that those people faced. The system may have failed, but those operators did the best they could with what they had. In my mind, they were absolute heroes.
There's nothing to be proud of. Most of the plant workers were born and raised here. They wanted to protect their hometown, protect their families. The reality is, tens of thousands of people are still under evacuation. And we're the ones that caused that. By no means are we heroes.
This Nova program is available on DVD. To order, visit shoppbs.org or call 1-800-PLAY-PBS. Nova is also available for download on iTunes.